Now, from the CBS 4 studios, the best high school coverage from all over the Rio Grande Valley. It's time for Sunday Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Sports Extra, Week 9 in the books. Week 10 getting ready to come up, and that means only 2 weeks left until the playoffs begin. Hard to believe, but we are here. I'm CBS 4 Sports Director Clay Williams. Joining me as always, CBS 4 Sports reporter, it is Joe Bowling. And joining us this week, our special guest, Andrew Crum of the Brownsville Herald. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You know, Andrew, you got to see a great game this past Friday, and I want to talk about it because we don't get a chance to talk about these small schools a lot, or the private schools, but what Brownsville St. Joseph was able to do on Friday night was nothing less short of miraculous. This team has never been able to get past teams from Austin or San Antonio and get to a district title, at least not in the last 20 years, but everything might be changing now, especially what we saw on Friday. Let's talk about the Valley playoff teams first, however. These are the teams that are in. Wesco East, PSJ North are all in 31-6A. Edinburgh, Vela, and Donna are also in. And LaFeria and Port Isabel in the 4A ranks. And like we said, Brownsville St. Joseph in now after their big win on Friday. Here are the teams that are going to win and be in. That is, if they can get that win. McAllen Memorial in with a win, as is Edinburgh Economides. Los Fresnos and San Benito down in 32-6A. In the 5A ranks, Mission Veterans, Mercedes, Ed Couch-Elsa, all in with wins this week. And La Gruya, Rio Hondo, Raymondville, and Port Isabel. Actually, Port Isabel already in, as we mentioned, but La Gruya, Rio Hondo, and Raymondville in with their next win, as is Lyford and La Villa. We'll talk about that coming up. But, like I said, St. Joseph able to get it done this past week against Austin St. Michael, and able to get it done off the arm of none other than Kai Money, throwing for a touchdown pass there to give St. Joseph the early lead. Austin St. Michael came back. Look at the rain coming down, folks. This was a tough game. Austin St. Michael took the lead the fourth quarter, but St. Joe was able to come back, get it done. That is Mario Garza right there, Mario Garcia with the touchdown run, and St. Joe gets a huge win, and now they are 3-0 in district, getting ready to take on the Central Catholic Buttons coming up this next week.
Our coaches have been preaching to us since the very first week, since two-a-day started, that during our district, the games are going to take a full 48 minutes, and
it feels great to put it together as a team. We lost the linebacker in the first quarter. We asked a running back to step into his shoes, and Kai and Anthony just took control in the second half.
All right, so Andrew, let me ask you. You were there. You saw the game.
Yeah.
How big a game was this for St. Joe, and what does it mean for them in the future?
It was huge. It was a huge game for them. Both teams were 2-0 in district, and they needed this win to get to the top of standings. 3-0 in district. They have another shot. I guess this is kind of playing for the district title. I guess this week against San Antonio Central Catholic, and I mean this game is just as big as Austin St. Michael's, but. I tell you what, they look pretty incredible though on Friday night, and really showed the poise and the strength that they have this season. So
I mentioned it before, Joe. St. Joseph, when getting up to this level in TAPS play, has never been able to take a district title, but now going up against the Buttons, their longtime rivals up in San Antonio, they have a chance to do it this week.
Well, we talked about it preseason, Clay, that this team had the size, which the other Brownsville St. Joseph teams have not had. They've got huge size up front that can help these playmakers, and folks, they're young. So getting the job done this year, watch out for the next couple of years, but I look for a terrific performance again coming up this week too.
All right. Meanwhile, Brownsville St. Joseph not the only school having a big week when it comes to our smaller schools in the Rio Grande Valley. How about Lyford and the Bulldogs and what they were able to do this past week? They have now won 3 straight games, and they are 3-0 in district. And this week coming up, they will be taking on Aransas Pass at home, and that game will be for the district title in Week 10. This is a team that did not even make the playoffs last year. It's been a big turnaround, Andrew, for these Bulldogs.
yeah, they've been playing a lot better this year. Just offensively, defensively, just really have stepped up this year, and it's been pretty impressive.
You know that Jaime Infante offense always seems to get some yards, but this year with John Rivera at quarterback, Joe, they seem to have taken it to the next level.
Yeah, they found one of the quarterbacks that fits into their system young, early on. They never have to change anything. They just have to make sure the athletes come in play to but and this time they got a quarterback that knows the system, and every other player has played that since what, 5th grade? Yeah. And so now you got a guy that can get it done, and no secret and no surprise really that they're winning this year.
And speaking of quarterbacks that are getting it done after spending several years in the system, LaFeria, as we said, already in the playoffs with their huge 20-9 win over Kingsville King this past week. Isaac Galpin is the guy who has been leading this Lions team all year long. And now, this week, LaFeria already with a playoff berth in hand, already with a share of the District 16 4A Division I title, goes for the outright title against Zapata. Zapata already has a loss to Kingsville King, Joe, so LaFeria looking good in this matchup coming up this week.
A lot of people tried to write off LaFeria after the Mercedes game and after those couple of blips on the radar, but you knew coming in that this team was a very good football team, and by the time district play, they were going to start peaking, and they're real. They're a very real football team.
Your thoughts on the Lions there, Andrew?
They've also looked really good this year. Like, I mean, anytime you can beat Kingsville King, I think that's pretty huge. And Kingsville King's last few years, they've been the top of that district. I mean, they've been the top of that district, and it's been kind of them and everybody else. So to kind of come out and be able to be where they're at this year is impressive.
Yeah, and to do it again, if they can do it against Zapata, they will have the outright district title. Now in 16 4A Division II, it's a huge game this week because it is Rio Hondo at Raymondville. Rio Hondo scoring here against Orange Grove and the Bulldogs this past week, but falling. It was close, you know, it was 13-7 at half. It ended up being 26-14 after all, but now Rio Hondo has to go up to Burnett Stadium, their second straight game on the road. Andrew, who do you think wins this game?
I'm going to take Rio Hondo. That defense is that defense has been just outstanding this year. They did that against Port Isabel, and I think they'll do it again against Raymondville. So.
Your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, I think they can regroup and take control of this football game defensively, and their offense helps their defense as well because it's a ball control type offense that keeps the other team from getting into a rhythm. So I think Rio Hondo will win that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rio Hondo as well. Raymondville has looked impressive in several games this year, but I've got Rio Hondo going up and getting a big win on the road. That is our first segment here on Sunday Sports Extra. We are coming back with Andrew and Joe, and we are going to talk about District 32 6A. They've got some big games coming up this weekend. We'll be talking about those. We'll be talking also about those wild Wildcats and Wesco East scoring any way they want to on offense. Plus, like we said, bird watching. How about the Cardinals, Eagles, Hawks, Falcons? Lots of birds in 32 6A worth watching. It's all next.